different parts of our offense and defense and continue to work on it. Our punt, we didn't do much with the field goal today. It was a spirited practice. We've got a lot of competitors out there, and it's probably easier to say whoa than giddy up, but we got to bring some guys back. Anyhow, we're excited about moving forward. We'll have full padded practice on Saturday. There will not be a scrimmage, and there's probably not going to be any live contact, but it'll be good to get the pads on again. So at this time, questions. All right there, Cody.
Craig, of course we know you coach the field goal kickers.
Yeah.
We saw John Hoyland got a scholarship. Easy decision there, I assume.
Well, it really was. I mean, from the first game against Nevada, even though we didn't win, I thought he made several pressurized kicks. And, sometimes when you're here working in the elements, I thought he really did a great job. And, those 3 points really matter. I think he led the country as far as field goal percentages for a freshman or I don't know what a statistic, but it was outstanding. So we did put him on scholarship. Yeah, Michael.
We talked to Chad Muma a couple days ago, and he was kind of asked about, what he wants to improve on and where he's kind of at in terms of, an NFL future and whatnot. You've coached a lot of NFL players. Mm-hmm. Logan Wilson was just the guy who was right here. Where do you think Chad needs to improve? And do you see him as a guy that could have a similar sort of stock rise that Logan did his last year?
Well, certainly do. Chad's got a couple more years of eligibility, but a lot of players are going to be dealing with what do they do? And, it's going to be important for him to continue to gain an understanding about where we're at defensively. I think he's got a really good ability to close the field and make explosive plays. He's an excellent blitzer. I think some of the things that he'll need to continue to improve on is some of his plays out in space, like on third down and things like that. When he's in pass coverage, he's got good strength. He's picked up some good weight. He'll need to continue to keep that weight on. And, he's a team player. He's all about Wyoming. But these guys do have aspirations. One thing that we did chart, we had more players on the NFL roster than any other Mountain West school this last year. And so I think we're a developmental program, but guys are seeing that we run a pro-style system on offense and in defense. And as a result of that, some guys have risen to the draft boards in the NFL. Where Chad's going to end up this next year will determine that. Davis.
Craig, you mentioned punter. You also need a new punt returner, some kick returners. Do you have leaders at those spots at this point?
No, we really, we're just sorting through that. I was thinking about that today, Davis. We'll try out several different guys during the course of the spring. It's going to be important that we field punts and turn the field over. And, the kickoff return is a big, big play. As the spring goes along, we'll feather some guys in there. Tracy.
Did you have any of the next year's freshmen come in at the semester break like you've had in the past with a couple guys?
I think we have one that came in during this spring. He's out there, and Zaire from Valor Christian is in here. Davis.
Jaden Clemens, Craig, is he here this spring or will he be here in the summer?
No, he's here right now. He's competing at the quarterback position. Cody?
You guys have a lot of good depth across the board, but once again, not a ton of depth at the cornerback spot that you know about yet anyway. You concerned with that at all, or you hoping to see some guys step up this spring?
Well, we certainly need to develop some depth. It's great to have CJ and ZZ back. Now, those guys played a lot this last year, and it's a little bit unusual for have two guys to be able to play the whole year. Typically, somebody unfortunately does get injured. So we're looking at a grouping of guys to develop. I think it's going to be hard for any of those guys to dislodge those two starters. They both played well last year, and they've had good springs thus far. Michael.
Did anybody have any significant gains in the weight room or this is the time of year where people have either lost a lot of weight or gained a lot of weight, strength? Anyone with any significant gains?
I think, first of all, Eric Abougier lost about 50 pounds. And really, improved his physical conditioning, and that's going to help him. He's down, I don't know, 329. He was up way up above that before. So we saw some good gains with him. I thought Chad Mumu picked up some really good strong weight. I mean, he's up in the 240-pound range. This is really going to help him. Some of the other guys, I think, have begun to level off. I think we've been able to keep our offensive line at a pretty heavy weight, but we've trimmed them down because we need to move better. Cody?
A lot of people talk about how Chad Muma replaced Logan Wilson, but Esaias Gandy replaced Elijah Halliburton. Not easy shoes to fill. What do you think about him and his progression?
He really played well during the course of this last fall. Now, we had an abbreviated season with 6 games, but he's an excellent tackler, really finds the football well, very similar to Elijah from that standpoint. We'll need to make sure that he continues to improve his play out in space. He is a safety, and so there's going to be times that we'll need him in a cover 2 deep zone, and we'll continue to work on that. But he's a smart, insightful, and very instinctive player that's an excellent tackler. Davis?
Craig, how's Alonzo Velasquez and also Charles? How have they looked physically coming off their surgeries last year?
Who was the second one, Davis?
Charles Hicks.
Chuck Hicks?
Charles Hicks, yeah.
Yeah. Alonzo didn't practice today. He's wrenched his back, but, his knees are fine and certainly moving around. We've got him slotted in a starting spot at the tackle, and Chuck Hicks really came back, and he's moving around full speed right now. Yes, Cody.
Fullbacks are another position where you guys are probably going to have somebody in there pretty new. What are your thoughts on the fullback position?
Well, we're sorting through some guys. Caleb Driscoll's from Gillette, has the physical attributes of somebody that we're looking at. Parker Christensen also will be able to slide in there some. And, I was remiss. Parker probably put on some really good lean muscle mass. I think he picked up about 10 pounds, and he's one of our faster players. So between those two guys, and we always talked about some Wyoming players, and typically fullbacks are guys that are just not tough guys that are athletic. So we think between Parker and Caleb, we're going to be well fortified at that spot. Okay, guys, want to say thanks for the coverage again, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Craig.